All right, ladies and gents, welcome to today's video. My name is Taylor Benton. We're going to talk about why culture actually slows you down. And if you truly just want to make as much money as possible in the shortest time frame, you shouldn't actually care about culture, and you should just hire as many people as quickly as possible. So this insight is not coming from me. It's coming from Brian Chesky. He is the CEO of Airbnb. I posted about this quite a few days ago. And I said, look, everybody should watch this. And it is basically a video of him talking about the culture of Airbnb. If you want to see the video, I highly recommend you watch it. It's an hour and a half long. It's the best movie you'll ever watch. And he talks about culture in a way that I've never really heard any other entrepreneur talk about culture. And if you don't want to watch the hour and a half long video, I'm going to summarize one of the most important points that I took away from it. Although there was many important points, this one was very simple and resonated with me tremendously. So Brian said that, look, if you want to just make as much money as possible, you should forget culture. Why? Because culture is a constraint. It slows you down. Because what culture is it's, your core values, your mission, your vision, and most importantly, you're hiring people that align with that. Okay, so it's difficult when you have a specific vision and values and a mission. It's more difficult to hire someone and vet someone that fits the culture than it is to just hire anyone that it has the talent or the intelligence required to fill the role. There's two totally different things. There's culture fit, and then there's just like, are they qualified and do they have the level of intelligence to fit the role, basically. And this culture one can really slow you down because maybe not everybody resonates with your core values. Maybe most people think that your core values aren't great, and that's okay. But the point is that what Brian was saying is that it slows you down tremendously in the short term. And if you want to just make a ton of money, you should forget about hiring because your growth is basically going to look like this. And with culture, it's going to kind of go like this. And over time, it's going to go, exponential. To be fair, I think that in the long term, culture wins tremendously. And if I'm to draw this a little bit more accurately, I would say that if you just focus on profit and you forget about culture, it's probably going to hit a plateau pretty quickly or start to go down and actually explode at some point, just because when you have no culture, there seems to be very high turnover. There seems to be lack of engagement in all your team members in the team, and that creates lower productivity scores or lower amounts of productivity across your team. And so it wins the short term if you just forget about culture for 1 to 2 years, but it crushes and kills the long-term potential of the company if you forget about culture completely. But it all depends on what you're optimizing for. Personally, I'm a huge advocate of culture because I like to think long-term, and I love the company, the agency that we have, Better AMS, and so I don't care about selling for $20 million in 2 years. That's not my goal personally. I love the company, and kind of like Brian Chesky explains in this video, the company that you start, the agency that you start, or whatever business you're starting, it's like you're giving birth to a child, and you have to raise it. And like any parent, you don't want to outlive the child. So if you had a kid, like, you don't want your kid to die before you. And same thing is like, you kind of want this company to live on even after you die and be able to take care of you even if you're like in your 70s, ideally. Most companies may not last 100 years, but that's kind of my goal and what I think is everybody should optimize for. But other people are different. They start companies for different reasons, and they don't care about culture. They don't care about a company lasting 50 years. They just want to make $10 million and buy something or do something else with the money. I don't know what it is, but everybody's different. So this is an important insight, an important little mental model, because look, you first got to understand and realize, what are you optimizing for? Are you optimizing for something that is going to be tremendously fun? It's going to grow, but not super fast. It will grow rapidly in 5 to 10 years when you have a lot more people that are highly aligned with the culture, and it's going to take care of you for the entirety of your lifetime, assuming you've built a great company, you've continued to evolve it as the years progress. Or do you not care about any of those things and you just want to make a lot of money as fast as possible? It's really as simple as that. If you are on the latter side of things, then forget about culture. If you are on the beginning side of things, well then get your mission in order, get your values in order, and make sure that you vet people very clearly on culture. Because if you don't, see what the worst thing is let's get into this. The worst thing is when someone isn't even aware of culture and they're not even sure what they're optimizing for. So we can just call this someone who really doesn't even know what they're optimizing for personally. They haven't sat down and gone through a deep introspective process to understand what they want out of the company that they've started. And so they know that they want to continue running the company that they have because it provides money for them and it pays for their rent and it pays for their food and it pays for their family, etc. And that's great, but they're not sure if they just want profit or they just want culture. And so you have some people that just go through life, and this is kind of, in my opinion, a bit sad, and they kind of just limbo, or they'll just see super steady growth, but it'll never really be tremendous. Some of them might even die after a while, and they'll just get bored. If you've read The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber, you have the technician who just can't seem to hire people, and 10, 20 years later, after doing the exact same thing and doing the same work over and over, doesn't want to do it anymore. And so since they never learned how to train people, they never learned how to hire people, instead of selling their business because they can't sell it, because they don't own a business, they own a job, they end up closing shop and they can't sell it because nobody wants to buy it. And that's a sad, very harsh truth for a lot of people. And so I think it's important to sit down for you as the agency owner, you as the business owner, the founder, the CEO, the leadership team member, and really just think, okay, hey, look, we got this great company here, or we're thinking of starting this company. Do we really care about the longevity of this company? Do we want to build something special that's going to last generations to come, and something that is going to be highly enjoyable for us? And we don't care about making the most money in the next 2 to 3 years. We care about living the longest and continuously growing year after year after year, while continuously building an amazing culture full of people that we love to work with, and we have an absolute time in terms of fun working with them. Which one do you want? Is it that, or is it just the most money in the shortest time period? Sit down, think about it, answer that question for yourself, and once you've done that, I highly recommend watching this video to get more insights on how you can go about building out the vision, building out the mission, the values. It's not something that you're going to be able to do just like that. I think that getting clear on your vision, your mission, your core values, it takes time. How much time? I think it's different for everybody, depending on the level of clarity that you already have. But you need to sit down and just answer this simple question. So much love, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. There's only one thing I ask of you: hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you already are a subscriber, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love. Ciao.